Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Your Favourite Teacher. I am here with Miss Connelly from Southchurch High School, and Miss Connelly is going to teach me a little bit about one of the poems from, is it the Love and Relationships cluster?
Love and Relationships cluster, yeah.
Okay, so which poem have you picked?
So we have picked Mother Any Distance by Simon Armitage.
Oh, he's one of my favourite poets.
He's a lovely poem.
He is very good. Right, so shall we read through it and then we can talk about it in a bit more detail?
Excellent.
Do you want to go?
Yep. Mother Any Distance, greater than a single span, requires a second pair of hands. You come to help me measure windows, pelmets, doors, the acres of the walls, the prairies of the floors. You at the zero end, me with the spool of tape, recording length, reporting meters, centimetres back to base, then leaving up the stairs, the line still feeding out, unreeling years between us. Anchor, kite. I spacewalk through the empty bedrooms, climb the ladder to the loft, to breaking point, where something has to give. 2 floors below your fingertips still pinch that last 100 of an inch. I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky to fall or fly.
Oh, that's really nice.
It is a lovely poem, isn't it?
Well, yeah, so I've never taught the Love and Relationships, so I'm like a novice here.
Yeah, so this falls under the parent and child relationship, so that parental love, and it's just all about a young boy, well, he's in his just about 18 years, 19 maybe, leaving for college or wherever. He's just about to move out of home. And he says, Mother, any distance greater than a single span requires a second pair of hands. So he needs his mother's help to move into this new home. So he says, you come to help me measure the windows and pelmets, doors, and the acres of the walls. So you can see the language that the poet uses, the acres of the walls and the prairies of the floor. Acres is quite a large distance.
Yeah.
So he perceives this moving out to be, moving out, it's going to be scary, this long distance away from home.
I guess also, like, with the walls being so big, it's maybe him regressing back into, like, feeling like a child.
Exactly, that's exactly it. And he requires his mom's help, that second pair of hands, and he says, you at the zero end. So the imagery that's been seen, mom is actually there to help him measure out some of the things. Right. So the measuring tape is symbolic of the distance that's starting to grow out between them.
Oh, that's really sad.
It is really sad. So it does start off by meters, centimetres, back to base. So they're going up and down the stairs. And towards the end of the poem, it says, your fingers still pinch the last 100 of the inch. And that describes mom still holding on to the son's, like...
I've got chills!
So she's still clinging on, but it says, I reach towards a hatch to an endless sky to fall or fly. So he's at that breaking point where it says, where something's got to give. Mom has to let go. Yeah. He has to let go to fall or fly.
And go off on his own.
Yeah, and open the hatch. And we've got that beautiful bird imagery that he's like a little fledgling, like ready to set off to fall or fly, which is symbolic in like the aspirations and the mistakes that you might make in life.
And I guess we've also got that with the anchor kite.
Yes, because we've got that whole run on lines here, your enjambment, and then you have your anchor, caesura, kite, so it's that pause in between it, and it's the anchor is symbolic to the mother and the kite is symbolic to the son. So the kite is the one that's trying to let go, but you've got a string attached to either end. So mama's still holding on, making sure he's okay, and she's the anchor, she's the stability, because you've got the language of your boat and the anchor which holds down the boat in place.
I also like the space walk through the empty bedroom.
So it gives it that feel that it's out of this world. It's something different to him that he space walks through.
And it's very adventurous. And
and it's the, exactly. It's the adventures that he's going to make in life, and also his feelings of feeling frightened and in this massive open space and this new world that he has to kind of make do with.
What are some of the other poems that it might compare with?
So When We Two Parted is a nice one, and Walking Away is a lovely one, because that talks about, it goes from the parent's perspective, watching his son on the first football game that he plays walk away, and then he starts to think, this is going to be it for life. He's going to start walking away more and more and more. So that one links quite well as well.
What about the idea of sort of endless sky? What do you think he means by that?
I think he means opens up to an endless sky, isn't the endless opportunities that are out there. We always live a sheltered life when we're at home and we're limited. But when we get older, we've got more opportunities, things start opening up for us after our GCSEs and college and things like that, that he's got more endless aspirations, I suppose, and opportunities.
Okay. What would you say would be some good quotes for the students to remember? I know they've got to try and remember a few.
I wouldn't take any long ones. I would pick anchor kite.
Yeah.
I'd extract just keywords, anchors, prairies, and I'd extract last 100 of an inch and fall or fly. Keep it short, keep it simple, and just make your notes from that, because the examiner is not looking for you to remember a full stanza.
It's pointless if you can't talk about it.
And that's it.
Even if you paraphrase, it's fine, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking for you. And I always say to my students, be able to write a lot about a little. You can write a lot about fall or fly. You've got your nature imagery. You've got your alliteration. You've got so much symbolism behind that. You can write so much.
Yeah, you could definitely do a whole paragraph.
You could do a massive, lengthy paragraph for the examiner, and they'd love that, being able to extract it and just write everything about that one quotation.
Okay. Do you think that it's like an affectionate relationship then in this case?
Yes, I definitely think so. I think it's a very loving relationship in this poem, that he does still require his mother's help. He does want his independence, at the same time still wants to be with her as well. Still knows something has to give. It's breaking point. He's trying to move off. She doesn't want to, but he still needs her to move out. So it's that balance between the two. He wants to move on, but he still needs her, like us all. So, still need our parents. Yeah.
So you think walking away would be the one that you would compare it to?
Or walking away would definitely be most relatable.
Why is that?
Because the parental relationships, and you get this the child's point of view in this one, and then it contrasts to the parents' point of view in the other one, where they both know they must accept that their son or child is growing up, and they have to accept that their independence. And you get the child's point of view, where he knows something has to give, that mom is still holding on to the last 100 of an inch, but he knows he needs to move out to get his own independence.
Is there anything that you pick up on, I know we've mentioned a bit before, but structurally that the students could talk about? So I know there's enjambment and...
Yeah, so in the middle stanza, the enjambment is symbolic of the measuring tape and the distance that's coming up between them.
Yeah.
And then in the last stanza as well, you've got your ellipsis, and it says, I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky, and then the last line is to fall or fly. So I think they've put to fall or fly at the very end there to kind of express that we all need to make our own mistakes. We all need to move out in order to fall and fly, and we all need to gain that independence from our parents as well, to learn from those mistakes.
And he's talking to the mother, isn't he? Is it addressed to her?
Yeah,
because it starts with mother.
You come to help me. So it's you come to help me. Yes, it's a very personal poem, because you've got your personal pronouns in there.
No, I like it. Okay, well, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.